Hey, what's going on, guys? Today in this video, I'm going to show you something really simple. If you have a AVR or a processor and you're connecting your home theater with external amplification, if you don't have a 12-volt trigger, I'm going to show you what that is, how to set it up, and why you probably want to add one to your system. So let's turn the camera around and I'll show you what we're working with here. So in my system, I've got an Anthem Avium 70 processor. And then over here, I have a Monolith 11X amplifier. And so what we want to do is whenever I turn on the Anthem, I want it to automatically turn on the amplifier. Right now as it stands, I can turn this on remotely using my app, but then I'll have to come up here and turn this on manually. Now, I know that seems like a kind of a silly thing, and like somebody may say, hey, you know, are you lazy? No, it's not about being lazy. It's about efficiency, but it also makes it easier for your family to use. Prime example, my son came in last night to use the system and he's not as familiar with it as I am. And so he turned everything on. He was going to go play the PlayStation and it just sounded weird. There was hardly any dialogue out of the center channel. And he was going, man, something sounds funky. And I agreed it wasn't right. Then it clicked in my brain, oh shoot, since I've reconnected everything, I forgot to hook up the 12-volt trigger, and so I had to manually turn that on. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you where on your AVR or processor that you can connect a 12-volt trigger, and I'll show you what that looks like. There's really nothing to it, so let's get into it. All right, so here's what you're gonna need. So I picked these up on Amazon. This is a 3.5 millimeters, the size of the diameter of this little tip, and it's only about 3 feet long. But here's the important thing. You see right here, this has one little black tip around the top, right up here. So that's a mono tip. Sometimes there's 2 tips, and sometimes there's 3 tips. So make sure you get the right one, and make sure you get the right size. What you're looking for is a 3.5 millimeter, that's the thickness of this, mono is typically what you're going to use. Sometimes amps can use a stereo, but there's really no need. Basically, all this is doing is when we turn on the AVR or your processor, in this case the Anthem Avium 70, this cable here is going to send a 12-volt signal from here over to here, and it lets it know that this unit is on, so that unit needs to be on. Whenever this unit is turned off, it takes away that 12-volt signal, and that tells the Monolith amplifier to turn off. So of course, on your AVR and your amplifier, you're going to need to have a 12-volt output from the AVR or processor, and you're going to need a 12-volt input on the amplifier. So here's the rear of my Anthem Avium 70. You can see it has 3 12-volt triggers on it. So that means I could connect 3 different amplifiers to this and automatically turn those on and off using that 12-volt trigger. Over here on the Monolith 11X, you can see we have 1 12-volt input. So we're simply going to connect this 3.5 millimeter cable from the Anthem to the Monolith. Once we get it hooked up, I'll demonstrate and show you what that looks like. All right, so the first thing we need to do is power on this because that is a hard button. So notice when I power it on, the light doesn't come on. That's because it's detecting that 12-volt trigger and it's waiting to sense this. So I'm gonna reach over here, turn this on. And when I do, you see that this actually turned on. So we'll give that a second for the Anthem to boot up. And then what I'll do is I'll reach over here and turn this off, and you'll notice the Monolith now powers off. So I love using 12-volt triggers on my amplifiers and processors or AVRs to be able to seamlessly make sure that those amplifiers turn on when they need to and turn off when they're not in use. Hope you guys have found this video helpful. I'll leave a link in the description to a simple 3.5 millimeter cable if you want to pick one of those up. Hope you guys have an incredible week. God bless. We'll catch you in the next video.